Now sit back, pour yourself a glass of sweet tea as you're listening to Chopping It Up with Josh and Jordan.
Welcome back to another episode of Chopping It Up with Josh and Jordan. If you can tell, I got a new camera, man. Hopefully it looks a little better and you get to, see the epic, beard a little bit better and stuff. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, man. Excited about that. Excited. We've had a lot going on this last week. Baseball wise, with spring training, WBC, quite a few football moves as well. So we got a lot to talk about here in this episode.
Yeah, a normal episode like always, Tomahawk Talk, and then we'll probably sit and park in the WBC section for a bit. But like always, we're gonna start with a wonky game. Last week, I got the dub, man. I got the dub for last week with the video games. What ended up doing me in was my first pick, which was the show. So I'm glad about that. And you can't
Yeah,
be
good choice
can't
there.
beat Wii Sports. Just immaculate picks overall.
Yeah, we just played it this last week,
We
man.
did. That was quite entertaining. You kind of sucked, but that's all right. It's all right.
That's fine, man.
Yeah. But this week we got an interesting one. It's again sort of like a top five, but not quite. So here's what's gonna happen. Here's this. We kind of have sort of a scenario for this game. All right, are you ready? I'm gonna prep you for it.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right.
we're out chilling. We're on a boat or something, and then the boat just like sinks, and we gotta go to the nearest island. All right, but this is not your regular island. This happens to be
Oh, shoot.
a very sketchy island, a dinosaur-filled island.
Oh, a sketchy one.
Yeah. It's not some other
Nah.
island. This is a dinosaur-filled island. I don't know if you've ever seen the Jurassic Park movies. That's one of my favorite franchises out there. But we'll go with it's kind of like Isla Sorna, which is the island from the second and third movies. You got a bunch of dinosaurs everywhere, and because of all the sketchy dinosaurs and stuff, no one's coming to save you. Even if you put up a SOS,
Yeah.
they're not coming to save you because they don't want to get eaten. I mean, no one wants to get eaten
True.
by dinosaurs. No one's coming to rescue you. But the thing is, we both get to pick 5 items to take with us. Now, these items can't really be any larger or heavier than yourself. Alright, so like you can't take a whole jet ski with you.
Dang.
And if it's like say it's a specific like, smaller item and you want to take multiple of it, then it'd be, you get a crate full of the item that you pick. About, this big, nothing too big. Kind of like a suitcase maybe, full of that item.
All right.
So we'll just, figure out what items we'd use to try to survive. And this time we'll just go back and forth. We're not going to do the snake draft. You can't dupe as the other person, but a lot of these we can pretty much just, you can find different versions
If you
of
manage
these
to
other
do,
things.
that's impressive.
But Jordan, do you want to start us off? What's the first item you take to help survive on this dinosaur infested island? And one more thing, it's just like I said, no one is coming to save you. The whole point of this is who would last longer with the items that we're given, me or you. So lead us off here, Jordan.
All right. My first item that I'm bringing is a portable water filter. I'm talking about not just one of them little freaking straws. I'm talking about they have this thing. It's like a big, like a gas tank almost, like one of them little red gas tanks.
Okay, yeah.
But it can filter all the water in there. So that's my first item, man. I feel like the one thing you need to survive is good drinking water, and that's what I'm going for, number one.
That's a great pick. You need water to survive, and like I said, there's probably some drinkable springs here and there, but if you want to chill on the outside, maybe you got all that seawater and stuff, you can just grab that and just drink it straight from there. It's a good pick.
And it's sketchy with the watering holes because that's also watering holes for all the dinosaurs.
That's true.
And it's scary.
That's true. I got a fun first pick for you. Okay. So I thought about something similar for water. If you want to purify water, what's another way to purify it? Boiling it, right? Taking out the impurities.
True.
It'll kill all the bacteria. And also, you need a way to cook any food that you might catch or kill over there. But, I didn't just want to bring any little, like, torches, or I didn't want to bring, like, a flint and steel, knocking it on the making a little fire. I thought of something much more entertaining. I'm bringing an entire industrial flamethrower. Hear me out.
Of course you
Hear
are.
me out. You can use it just a little, make a huge fire for yourself. I did some research, and if you get a full-on flamethrower, some of them can fire for a good 100 seconds straight. So, like, that's, as long as I'm not stupid with it, that can last me for a while. I just go over to a little area I want some fire, and if I'm smart with that fire, I keep it up and keep it going for a while, so I'm not, like, every day just, like, hitting it with a little bit of fire. But even then, if I get in a really tough situation, I got a flamethrower to defend myself.
True.
No monsters and dinosaurs are gonna want to come up and try to attack me when I just light them up with a flamethrower. So, I can use it to cook food. I can use it to purify water. It's a fun picture.
Yeah, man, and that's a good pick. The issue with that is, like you said, if you get into any emergency situations and you might need to use it, what happens when you run out of gas?
But see, that was my big question mark there is, the gas, how much, like, how long will I be able to use this flamethrower? And like I said, it said about a minute and a half of pure fire. And that's just if you're holding down the trigger the whole time. So, and I'm certainly not doing that. But
Yeah.
so, if I get in a tough spot, I can just
So,
spray and pray, and then, just make a little fire, and hopefully I can keep it up. So I'm not trying to use my flamethrower every single day to use it out, but I thought that's a fun,
true that, but
I can cook up a whole bunch of dinosaurs with my flamethrower.
so here's my thing right here, Josh. You told me that our item cannot be bigger than ourselves, right?
Yes.
My next item, I would like to get a crate, but this is a very oddly shaped crate, okay?
Okay.
So imagine a fuel tank, okay? Like I was talking about with the red one,
Okay,
okay?
just like a little gas can. Like not a
I
little
want
gas
that
can.
exact width, but the height of me. All right, that's what I want. And if I can get it a little wider, maybe to fit 2x2 in there, then I want that. But just I want a crate of gas, just a crate of gas,
Okay.
and you'll see why later.
Okay.
You'll see why, but I would like a crate of gas.
That's a good decision. The only thing with the gas is because the other thing is that it cannot weigh more than you either. So
True.
you probably won't
True.
be able to carry as much gas as you were wanting, but still, that's a great thing. That's just like mine with the flamethrower, except with the flamethrower it's very projectile.
Yeah, and you'll see why I want that gas in a
Okay.
bit. I think this is a very good, interesting scenario I got going here.
So for my number 2 pick, I'm gonna go with something real simple here. This is something that you're gonna need to survive. Um, I'm gonna go with, I looked this up too, and this does exist. A hatchet multi-tool. So it's a hatchet at the top, and then at the bottom, there's like like a multi-tool where you got your, another little knife and screws and scissors and stuff all at the bottom. Like even just a hatchet, incredibly useful. I can use that to cut up some wood for a fire. I can use it to slice up a dinosaur if I need to cook supper. I can use it to, slice up some vines and stuff to make shelter if possible. Hatchet's just such a good, and if I'm trying to clear out some brush, I'm trying to traverse through the jungle, I can use that hatchet to everywhere, so I can actually
True.
traverse throughout all the thicket.
That's a good tool right there, man. A good hatchet, multi-tool. Like you said, many uses for that. That's a good pick, man.
Thank you.
All right, my next one, very specific here.
Okay.
I would like a 458 Win Mag Safari rifle. This gun can take down elephants.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know.
Oh, okay.
That's the gun I want. I'm taking the 458 Win Mag.
Okay. Now, granted, you only get the ammunition that's in the clip, but
True.
I'm thinking that you might.
But I shouldn't really need too much of it, so we'll be fine with that.
So that's just
You only need a couple shots there.
Do you know how much the
I'm an accurate shooter.
Do you know how much the mag has magazine?
I'm not completely sure, but as long as it's got like 12, we're chilling.
Okay. So you got 12 shots, so that's kind of worst case scenario. But no, that's a
Yeah,
good thing. For my third
yeah.
pick, I'm gonna go with something. So I need food. I have a way to get food, but I'm not trying to be out there hunting these animals the whole time because, I'm not gonna be the only one out there hunting these other dinosaurs, right? You got the bigger, scarier dinosaurs trying to go out and hunt the other dinosaurs, right? That's the issue there.
True.
I'm gonna bring a huge crate, as much as I can carry, full of the MREs. They'll last forever.
Oh, that's a good one, dude.
It's not gonna be tasting like Dookie. And again, I don't have to be eating these the whole time. I can, if I find a carcass of some animal I can eat up, I'm gonna do that. But like, until this will give me the good nutrients I need. Maybe only eat one or two a week, but I have a huge crate of it. So I'll probably have at least, 60 to 80, maybe even more of these MREs. And, I'll be eating good, man. I'll be eating good.
That's a good selection, man. I was not even thinking the route of MREs. I was just thinking, sniping down a couple dinosaurs. That's a lot of meat, but
Yeah, but the thing is
yeah,
that
MREs
uses
is
up
a good choice.
that uses up ammo, and you're having to, you got to be active going out there to hunt down these beasts. Meanwhile, I'm just, if I have nothing there, nothing smaller, I'm just gonna go hide and eat my MREs for supper.
You know what the issue could be with that though is dinosaurs might want to take a bite of that crate of MREs. I'm just saying, man, they might be attracted to that.
No, man, I'll if they come over there, I'll just slice them up with my hatchet and light them on fire if it's a
Oh,
big one.
oh, I see.
Yeah, and then
I
I'll eat
see.
them, so then I get even more food. So it's done by them. But they're just dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So they're pretty dumb creatures.
It's true. They're pretty intelligent actually.
Oh, okay.
But my next pick, I'm gonna go with a big crate of ammo.
Okay.
And then that way I don't gotta worry about it. I got plenty of ammo to get some food. If I'm in danger, just freaking pew. We're chilling
Now
here, man. I got lots of
my
ammo
question
now.
with this gun is it automatic or what's the?
I don't know, but it can shoot elephants, so I'm chilling with it.
Okay. That's good. I mean, you can just dice them up all the time. You still have your gasoline, which I'm waiting to see what you use that with. So
Yeah.
some interesting picks. Now here's
Yeah, you'll see.
another one that I thought of that was really really interesting because my whole thing is trying to just survive. I'm just trying to like you're just going all rainbow stars, just boom 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 boom, taking out all these big creatures. The only thing is, what if you miss? Then you're getting dookied on. What if a whole pack of velociraptors come up and eat you? So I'm just kind of minding my own business, hiding out in the woods. I got a bunch of food, but I didn't know that this exists, but it technically does. It's a foldable kayak. And I was looking at images of this, and it literally, it's like a little backpack that folds out into this huge kayak, like it normal. So I can go out there, I can go fishing. If there's a bunch of big scary land creatures, I can just go over the water. Which, there could be some scary things over there as well, but, there's obviously going to be less creatures in the water than on the land. I can even use my kayak to go upstream, deeper into the island just for some more fish. Or, hear me out, at nighttime, I just paddle out my kayak a little bit and nobody's getting me off the island. I can just paddle out off the shore, maybe a
True.
mile or so. Literally, who's gonna get me? I'm chilling out there. I'm bringing a thing or two of MREs, maybe the ones that I don't need to heat up. And then, during the next day, I sleep out there on my kayak on the water. If I drift a little bit, I drift a little bit. I'm smart. I'll have a, little rope or something to know where I'm at and stuff. But, yeah, I think the kayak's just a pretty solid pick.
I like that pick, but the example you used, you said if you're getting like chased by some dinosaurs, you're just gonna go out there, bro. What if they chase you down when you're on your way, man? And also,
I got the
ain't
flamethrower.
there like dinosaurs under the water?
That's what I said. But like I said, that's the issue with if you go upstream. But if I go out, on the ocean away from the island itself, a mile or so out, there's no dinosaurs out there, because if so, our boat that came across would have gotten eaten a while earlier, So
Well, why do you think it sank,
it
Josh?
sank because we had Connor driving the boat, and he clearly did not see this rock right in front of us, and
That makes
yeah,
sense. Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
good thinking there.
Like I said, I can use my kayak to sleep and all sorts of stuff. I
It's
can use
true.
it to
That is a
fish as
smart
well.
pick. I like it.
I can traverse if I'm trying to run away from something. It's just such a
So,
versatile pick. Go fishing out there.
so here's my idea. All right, I've got an interesting idea. All right, let me try and explain this to you. What my strategy is
Okay.
here before I do my final pick. So I'm basically just gonna try and stay on the outside of this island the whole time.
Yep.
Stay by the shoreline and everything. I rarely go into the woods, but except I'm gonna live up in a tree. That's where I'm gonna live. That's where I'm gonna be sleeping. So I know what you're thinking here. That's kind of dumb, but you're wondering why I also got all this gasoline, right? Let me tell you about this item that I did not know exists, and that is the military jetpack. I did not know this is a thing. I have a military jetpack. All right, this thing. Listen, they use it to get up on the aircraft carriers from the little boats, right? So I'm thinking I can use it if I can't just climb up the tree, which I'm thinking I'll be able to. I can use that to get up there, and if I'm getting cooked by some freaking velociraptors or something, I just jetpack above them, man. They can't get me no more.
That's it. The thing is, like, are you sure you trust knowing how to use a jetpack for the first time? Like, what if you just go way off and just die? You go off into the ocean and then you just drown.
Josh, I have experience.
You have never used a jetpack before. I know that you've never used a jetpack before.
Okay.
You could die just by using
It's a brand new jetpack. Listen,
what if your jetpack malfunctions?
No,
and
it's a
explodes?
brand new jetpack. It comes with the owner's manual.
Okay.
It comes with the owner's manual.
But are you gonna have time to just chill there and read the owner's manual?
Yeah.
Well, like you need the practice though. Even if you read the manual, it don't matter because you still got to put it into practice. And I think you're not a professional.
Hey, they say practice like you play. They say practice like you play, and this is the ultimate practice field right here. About to get killed by some dinosaurs, man. I'm gonna practice right there in the high pressure scenario.
My other question is, so you're bringing all this gas. How much gas does it consume in the first place? Like, are you gonna be able to? Like, is it gonna just, you have one little ejection and then you use up all your gas, or what's the situation?
I hope not, considering they go from little boats in the floor of the ocean up onto aircraft carriers. And I'm gonna go ahead and go out there and say they can do that multiple times on one gasoline refill. So, I mean, really all that this thing is it's just jets that are powered by a little gasoline.
But is it?
So it's just some little tubes going in and out. It can't be that much gas.
Here, I'll wait for my last pick, and then I'm gonna combat a few issues I think I have with your situation. So I have one way I can escape off to I'm gonna be like you. I'm just chilling on the outskirts. I have my food, so at least like I have a steady income of food, and like it's good food. I don't gotta deal with a dinosaur having some disease I don't know about, and I eat it, I consume it, and I die. Like I don't have to deal about that. I can eat some. I can go out. I can go fishing. I can get my exercise on the kayak, but there's the problem of, what if it's really stormy and bad out? Or, maybe I don't want to go out in my kayak. So I'm bringing a tent, but not a normal tent, because if I go chill in a tent, some dinosaur are probably going to come up and eat me. I found this thing. It's called a suspended tent that you go up and put into trees.
True. It is a good thing.
So I'm going to live up in the trees with my suspended tent. And chill, eat my MREs, go down when I want to, or I don't even have to chill up there all the time. I can just put some of my resources there, and or maybe I go and sleep on my kayak if I feel like that's even safer to come back and chill up in my suspended tent. I have my hatchet to help me with any other resources I need, and it's pretty solid setup I have there.
Hey, bro, what if a pterodactyl come and get your little tent?
Hey, bro, no pterodactyls coming from my tent because I'm going to be in very dense dense forest, like right on the outskirts, so it's gonna, be too big to get up
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Some jokers
That's
are
true.
some
That's where
jokers
I'm
are
at
pretty
too,
large.
so I can't really say much there. That's a good idea.
My question, I have some questions for you. How are you planning on your food? What's your food plan for this survival on the island?
Oh, my
Yeah.
food? Well, obviously there's some like vegetation on the island, but my main food source, I got all these bullets in the gun. I'm just gonna start sniping some dinosaurs, man. That's it. It's as simple as that.
I don't know. I mean, but the thing is, how are you gonna cook them? How are you gonna cook your dinosaur?
I'll just make a
How
fire.
are you making your fire?
You think I don't know how to start a fire, Josh?
It might not work. It might you. I'm saying you could be out there and you're like, oh, I'm gonna start my fire, and you could really struggle because it's really not as easy as people show.
Josh,
Just to start up a fire.
Josh, I know it's not as easy as people show, but I've done many a bonfire, man.
Yeah, but
All I need is a piece of paper that blows
do you
out
have
there,
any?
and I'm
There's
good.
no paper out there. It's just dinosaurs.
It could
There,
blow
there's
out
no.
there, and plus there probably is some paper in the buildings that will
But
blow
the
away.
thing is, the buildings are like in the center of the island, so you'd have to really traverse to get them.
Yeah, they'll blow out there. It's fine. Don't worry about it, man. And plus, I will just use some leaves as well. That also works.
But how are
But,
you starting this
once I
fire?
get my flame
How are
going,
you
I'm
starting
good.
to?
I'll just get the little thing, and I'll go, and it'll start.
What if it's
You know
all
what I
wet
mean?
out there?
If it's wet, then I'm just gonna not eat for a little bit. And worst comes to worst, I go over and I visit you, and I steal some of your
No, bro,
MREs,
you're
man.
not. This is two separate occasions. We both go with Connor on this trip, and then we both hit a rock. Connor somehow survives all of this, and we both go to islands on separate occasions at the same time.
Well, let me ask you this. Wait, you said it's two different
Well,
islands?
it's the same situation, but it's not like you can't come over and visit me.
Mm. Hey, well, regardless, there's vegetation I can
It's-
eat on this thing. I was in the Boy Scouts for a little bit, so I know my poisonous mushrooms.
But
So I'm
here's
good
your
there.
problem. Here's your problem. You want to know your problem? Some of these
So-
vegetation are also like prehistoric vegetation. So how
That's
do you know
fine.
if it's healthy or not? You can eat it, and that you're not getting the nutrients that you need just from a banana. leaf.
Hey, smell test. Hit it with the smell test. If it smells rank, don't eat it.
This guy's getting killed instantly. He's not surviving this. He's just grabbing random
bro, I
stuff,
got a
eating it, and
jetpack.
then you just see him later just foaming from the mouth, just like sprawling out on
Hey,
the ground.
bro.
Just like,
Hey.
Meanwhile, I'm just chilling, eating my MREs, being like,
I got one word.
Alfredo and stuff.
I got one word for
What's
you,
your
man.
word?
Coconuts.
The coconut nut is a giant nut. If you eat too much, you get very fat. Now, the coconut nut is a big, big nut, but this delicious nut is not a nut.
That's my one word. All right? Coconuts. I know how to eat a coconut, bro. You crack that sucker open, and you got the liquid, you get the water in there, and you also getting some of that nice coconut flesh and whatnot.
Who said
So
that
that's
there were
good.
coconuts on the island? There could be zero coconuts
Dude.
on the island.
It's an island. There's obviously coconuts on the
No,
island.
there could be zero coconuts on the island. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm gonna plant some then.
I don't know. And then what's your way to survive? Like you're in the you're trying to sleep. What's your strat?
I'm up in a tree, man. Ain't nobody gonna come get me up a tree.
That's true, but what if it starts raining and storming and stuff? You just fall out and die.
No, I won't fall out, bro. Trust me, there's some good trees over there. I actually found this one tree.
It could get.
It's got like a very thick. No, hey, chill. Let me explain my tree. All right, this tree, it's got a very, very thick, like branch that's coming out of it, and it's got. I actually happened to find it started with a little cutout, and I kind of expanded the cutout with a stone, and I made it so I can like sit in there.
No, the
Yes,
big
I'm telling you,
trees.
I already
The big
found
trees
it.
are
You
in the
can't just
middle.
deny
big
the
trees
fact
are in
that
the
I
middle. On
found
the
it.
outside, you know what? I'll give you this. On the outside, you
Dude,
got your smaller.
You just said you're way up in the trees on the outside.
Look,
You literally
no,
just said
but
that.
I'm doing that with my trees. But
I
listen,
know!
mine, I got a tent that I'm connecting between two trees. I'm up there and I'm chilling. It's kind of like just one massive hammock, and I'm chilling up there. That's plan B. That I can
Okay,
also
well,
go
what
out.
happens if it gets windy? What happens if it gets windy? Then you're
No,
gonna
it's the
fall out.
same issue with you. See, I'm connecting from multiple points with my tent. So, I'm gonna be connected from this tree. I'm
Hey,
gonna have a tree over here, a tree over here, tree over here, tree over here, tree over here, tree over here. I'm just connecting it with all sorts of ropes.
Josh,
One tree goes
Josh,
down, I have multiple trees.
how are you gonna get it up there?
So here's what's gonna happen.
You don't got no hooks or
Here's what's
nothing.
gonna happen. I have my hatchet. I can, and then, shimmy up a little bit, and then, bear hug the tree, and then shimmy up it a little bit, and bear hug the tree, and shimmy up it, then bear hug the tree, then shimmy up it, Or I could also bring a whole bunch of rope. Or I'm not bringing rope, but I have my hatchet, right? And I'm gonna grab either some wood or vines, and I'm gonna fashion it into rope, which I can use to just chuck it up there, pull it
Oh
up,
well, yeah, of
climb all
course.
my stuff
I'm
up
gonna
there.
do that as
Like,
well.
it's the same
but...
issue. How are you gonna get up in your tree? Like, you're asking the same issue. Oh, you have your jetpack.
No. I'm not asking that. Yeah, I have that, but I'm asking how are you gonna mount your tent up in the tree, bro? You don't got any hooks or anything to
No,
put it up
the
there.
tent.
You're just gonna tape it
The
up to the
suspended
tree.
tent comes with hooks. Like, it's like I have like a
Oh,
yeah, I
does
have
it?
like a
Oh, okay,
it's like
okay.
I'll have like a backpack with me, but like the backpack is like like the like the tent tent bag with all the tent stuff in it. It's just like that. It's just a suspended tent.
Yeah. Okay,
This is
that's
not the
fine.
biggest tent in the world because
My
it's just
apologies
me.
then.
So,
Your plan's foolproof then. In that case, sorry,
okay.
that was my
Oh,
only
okay.
issue with it.
Okay. Oh, I see.
So that's a pretty solid plan then.
Yours
fact.
is all right, but
But
I think the
that is
weather
our
and
island.
food might do you in. You have no plan of food.
It's fine, man. I'll be all right. Hey, I got a jetpack though, so that kind of covers all the bases there.
You're gonna eat your jetpack. Like, how are you gonna get food?
Hey, worst comes to worst, I'll eat the jetpack, man. But this has been our interesting thing for the survival on the island. Let us know who won in the
Who
comments
would
section.
survive longer? Would it be Jordan or me or is there other things you would bring?
It would be Jordan.
Is
But
there other things you would bring to help?
yeah,
if you're in the same situation. But just let us know in the comments. I won last week, and I need to win back-to-back weeks. So please let us know who would survive the longest.
Now it's time for Tomahawk Talk.
The big thing this week. Last week we talked about Chris Sale's extension and all that, which was really cool. Great news as a Braves fan. But we don't get any more good news because if you didn't see our video that we put out, I believe it was Monday or Tuesday, Jurickson Profar might be the dumbest person on the planet. He got suspended for PEDs again. And since this is his second consecutive offense, he's gonna miss the entire next season, which is just so stupid. So the Braves will now be without Jurickson Profar for the entirety of 2026.
Hey, I say cut him, bro. I say cut him right now. We don't put up with this nonsense right here. But like you said, we did put out a full video about that. So if you guys want to check it out, we go more in depth into it there. It is up on the page.
Yeah, we talked about a few different things where the Braves could possibly move on from him. It's looking like Eli White might get that spot in left just from spring training and stuff, but we'll see. We came up with different maybe trade packages to go and get another outfielder. A few different names are brought up, a few different guys on the market who are currently now not back on the market. They've been a few of those guys have been signed at different places, like Andrew McCutchen. But certainly go out and check that video where you can learn a little bit more about Profar, what happened, what the Braves are doing. Because of that, it does clear up about $20 million in cap space. But we won't talk about that much more today, just because we put out a whole almost half an hour video on that last Monday.
We did, and something we want to go into a little bit here is a guy by the name of Didier Fuentes. Hopefully that's actually how you pronounce it. I hope it's not Didier. But Didier Fuentes is looking very good in spring training. If you remember, he come up last year for a couple games. Didn't look so hot. Granted, he was 19 years old, so Bold move there, bringing him up, but he's looking good in his spring debut.
Yeah, he made his spring debut this week, and he pitched, I believe it was two hitless innings with like 4 strikeouts. Every pitch getting up there into the upper 90s, a bunch of 98s, 97s. I believe he even got up to like 99 as well. And, he's able to locate stuff, look good. Granted against, the Orioles like second string guys and whatnot, but, still, it was good to see Fuentes kind of get his first spring appearance. We've been kind of waiting for a while to see what Fuentes would look like after coming up for a little bit last season and not doing too great.
True, and he's looked pretty good here. Like you said, he had that pretty nasty outing. Hopefully, he can keep that velo, not get injured there. Fingers crossed. I know we don't have the best track record with keeping guys healthy when we talk about them on the podcast, but
I swear the next video, the next short that'll be posted is we're talking about
Fuentes got ran over
and
by
then,
a car.
and then Didier Fuentes got ran over on. That I don't know. We'll see. We gotta just stop. We were talking about that. We almost just need to stop talking about these guys. We need to give them like code names or something. Call Fuentes like DF or Didier Fuentes. Maybe we'll do that.
Well, we talked about Profar last week, and then look at him now. It's dumb, man.
Like I said, and I tried the a while back saying I think it was like Harper or something. I was like Harper because I just said the thing about Schwellenbach and he got hurt, but now of course he'll be fine. But we'll talk about him in the WBC and Team USA in a second. That's been fun. That's been really fun to track over the last few days. But Fuentes looking good. We'll see how he continues to develop. He has a really good fastball. Off speed was looking pretty solid. The big thing with him is also location. But I'm curious to see. He could certainly come up at some point this season. But one guy that we haven't seen yet, and I was really hoping we'd see him in spring. I don't know if he will get a shot in spring training or when we'll see him. And that's Cam Caminiti. And Jordan, I'm just wondering, when do you think we'll see him play any sort of ball at the big league level?
So this is an interesting one. Last year we saw Didier Fuentes come up at the young age of 19. He was 19 when he came up, right, Josh?
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, so Caminiti is a little different than Fuentes. Caminiti, obviously a top prospect for the Braves, right there with J.R. Ritchie. But Caminiti, still very young, 19 years old, I believe he is right now. He's got a lot of stuff. I don't think the Braves need to worry about him this year. I say keep him down there, working in the minors a little bit, see what he can do there. We saw J.R. Ritchie have a good season in AAA last year. But I think Ritchie comes up this year, like we've talked about previously, for a little appearance. I think we leave Caminiti down for this year. See what he does in spring training next year. See what he does this year in the minors. And I think we go from there. So there's a chance that we see him next year coming up for a little appearance, but I don't see him making a full starting job with the Braves for 2 years, Josh.
Okay. Now, keep in mind, Caminiti is currently ranked as the Braves' #1 prospect in their system. He is young, still a whole lot to work on and develop, but it's stuff from even last season in the minors. It's really good. It's it was a top pick from the Braves a few years ago. I don't know. We'll see when Caminiti comes out. It just depends. Depends on the health of this rotation. Because if it's up to me, Sale, Strider, Lopez, Holmes, and Schwellenbach comes back, and that's your rotation. And then Walter maybe comes back so that one of those other guys can go to the pen or something. We'll see. I still think, and I still stand by, I think Ritchie would probably be the first to come up out of those guys. But there is some good optimism for the rotation in the next few years with guys like Caminiti and Fuentes and J.R. Ritchie possibly coming up in the next few years. It just all depends on how those guys can kind of develop. So a lot of good upside for the Braves rotation in the next few years.
Yeah, and also, you hate to think about it, seeing these guys go, but that's also some great trading capital right there. If you need to trade for a good guy, we make a deep playoff run this year even, and we're in need of like that fifth guy in the rotation or something, or we need an outfielder or something like that. Those guys can be huge draft capital to get a big name.
They can, but the only thing with that is because those three have such high upside that those are like Caminiti. I don't care who you're trading for. I do not want to see Caminiti or Richie go. Fuentes has, I think so. I saw someone online post the other day that Fuentes might be the Braves' new Spencer Strider in a few years. Really hard throwing young arm with solid off speed. He just needs to really develop that stuff. But those three, because of how bright I think their futures might be, you kind of want to hold on to them. You certainly don't want to get rid of all three, but if you do make
No.
some sort of package, you could get something pretty solid for one of those guys. But if you're listening to any trade package that includes multiple of them, no, unless you're getting like Mike Trout or something, I don't know.
Well, speaking of outfielders there, we've seen Michael Harris having a very solid spring after not a great season last year. At least not defensively, but offensively, even this spring training, he's looked very good.
Yeah, OPS over 1,000 at the time of this recording. And the big thing with Harris is that he's been very selective with his pitches. He's not chasing as much. Now, granted, he will probably always be a huge swing rate guy, kind of like Ozzie, who just kind of picks balls off the dirt. But Harris is more of a, his swing is not quite as concise as Ozzie, where he's able to get to some of those balls in the dirt. So his swing and miss
Yeah.
rate is crazy. But when the ball's there and in the zone, there's stretches that Harris goes crazy. Like last season after the All-Star break, he bat almost 300 for the rest of the season. So the thing is, like, if he can keep that consistent approach of not swinging at bad pitches, and if it's in the zone, letting it fly, we could see back to old Michael Harris with 800 or so OPS, which would be a big boost for this Braves lineup.
Huge boost there, and obviously one of the best center fielders defensively in the game.
Sure.
That would be a huge addition to this Braves offense. Seeing him looking like his old self in that Rookie of the Year campaign. But also, we saw Spencer Strider have his second appearance in spring. What'd you see there?
Yeah, that was fun because I was kind of I looked at a lot of the stuff after the fact. I didn't watch that game live, but afterwards I saw that it started and I went through and I was checking each pitch just because we talked about on last week how he made his first appearance and whatnot, and really velocity was kind of Bryce Olderish, sat about maybe 92, getting up to 93, 94 at the max, some at like 90. So I mean the vertical break, we talked about that, was sitting pretty good. He had good backspin on the fastball. But this last outing, much more encouraging. He sat about 95. I think his average was like 95.3 or something. Someone did the math. And he got up to about 97. So not quite the Spencer Strider of old, but this is pretty much where he sat last season. So he's not taking a regression. And he's not going to be 90-mile-an-hour Spencer Strider. He can get up to 97, but that also makes you sort of wonder if there's a little more in the tank that he can get up to. Do you think he might be able to climb up, get back up to maybe not 99, 100, but maybe consistent 97, maybe 98?
Yeah, I think he can, man. This is only his second appearance, and he's getting up to that 97. I think it's not that much more to get there and be consistently sitting around there. Maybe have a couple pitches get up into that 99, 100 area like he used to do. That would be very big. Remember, that's what Strider was known for is that fastball and then the nasty breaking ball coming off of that. That's how he gets so many swing and misses and so many strikeouts. But if he can get back up there, which I think he can, looking at him so far in spring training, that would be huge for this Braves rotation and for Spencer Strider personally for his stats.
The only thing with that outing is it wasn't the best of his outings. He did get, hit a little bit and a few different things. But like you said, the big thing with velo is obviously you're getting it punch past guys. Also, he's working on that vertical break. So, even if he's sitting same velo that he did last year, because of that extra ride on his fastball, 96 mile an hour fastball this year will be a lot different than a 96 mile an hour fastball from last season. And if he is able to get that fastball up a touch or two, that really helps his breaking ball, because that's what, really made batters just kind of guessing, because you're sitting for that 99 with good ride at the top of the zone, and then he throws that slider, which is more than 10 miles an hour slower than it. He also added that curveball, so we'll see. I really would like to see him hopefully get up to just another mile an hour or two more, but we'll see. Also, don't want him getting hurt pushing it as well, but
Yeah.
hopefully he can bounce back and get to that sharp fastball and good off speed breaking off of it.
That's what we want to see out of Strider. And I have a question for you here, Josh. This is a bit of an interesting one. We talked about it a little bit before with when we were talking about maybe that fifth guy in the rotation later on in the year. But what do you think the Braves pen will look like in 26? Who do you see being those 6, 7, 8 guys?
6, 7, I just bit.
Well, just to start off, you have 26 guys for a 26-man roster to begin the season. 13 of those guys being batters and 13 of those being pitchers. So 5 will probably be given up for the rotation. So we probably have about 8 guys that we're trying to look for in the rotation, unless they want to run with a 6-man rotation. But we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. There's always a bit of fluctuation there, especially with this Braves roster right now.
Yeah. But it's already been confirmed that you have Raisel Iglesias at the closer spot. He's going to assume all closing roles. And you have Robert Suarez kind of as a secondary closer and setup as well. So those are your 2 really strong back end of the pen guys who will take care of that 8th to 9th inning for most games. Then I think we get to our setups. So Dylan Lee, a really electric lefty who's been really solid over the course of his career. He will probably be the Braves' big versatile lefty, probably set up for next season. And then I'm gonna probably go with Tyler Kinley as well. Last season he posted a sub 1 ERA with the Braves. Obviously he probably won't be able to do that next season, but they did an interview with him the other day and they're saying how good his slider is. He said it's just been completely different ever since he left Colorado because of the altitude. It's just, he feels like he's gotten such a better feel of it, and he's added this curveball from about a year ago. So I think Kinley would certainly fit in that setup. Is there anyone else you'd probably prefer it set up, or because that's what I would go.
I
I'd go
like those 2. I really like
Kinley
those
at
2
that
guys.
setup. Then we sort of
Yeah.
have our middle relievers where I think Aaron Bummer will get the 5 spot in this bullpen.
Yep.
Another lefty, solid, not the big strikeout guy, but he has that sinker and that really big loopy slider. I think Dylan Lee gets a spot. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna have a really hard time saying this name, but Joel Payamps. Let's just go with Payamps. I think he'll get a spot. We're paying him over $2 million. He has solid stuff. I think he'll certainly get a spot. That's 6 guys so far. Now here's the question. Here's where we get into the spots that, will these guys make it? Will they not? You need a long reliever, and I was kind of thinking about this question the other night. who the Braves might have, like because most of this Braves bullpen is pretty much set, but a few pieces aren't, and that's currently one of the big spots is the long relief role, which I originally thought was probably going to be maybe someone like Joey Wentz, but we just got a message literally a few minutes ago that Joey Wentz is dealing with a knee injury trying to cover first base. He got carted off the field. So another injury, Jordan. It's Joey Wentz is not
It's
a
incredible, really.
big name guy, but I don't know. This could be a big injury that sidelines him for a while. Maybe he'll need surgery. Maybe I've looked at a few reports that saying it doesn't look too serious. Maybe he just needs a week or two off. And because I would probably go with Joey Wentz. Like the problem is I think the issue with figuring out the long reliever is trying to figure out who's going to be that five guy in the rotation. I
Yeah,
was
exactly. It's
thinking
tough.
Bryce Elder, but he got absolutely showed today by the Rays. So and
True.
you know how we feel about Bryce Elder in the Braves rotation.
Bah, bah.
Maybe if Joey Wentz is healthy, he can be that five guy in the rotation. So I'd either go with Joey Wentz if he's healthy, or if he doesn't make the rotation. And then my second option for long relief would be the big man, Jose Suarez, who he's been decent. He's somewhat decent last season. He's a lefty, he's pretty funky. Basically, he's like lefty Bartolo Colon.
He does look like Bartolo Colon, actually.
He does. But he's solid as well. I think he can be starter, but I think he'll be probably the long reliever. Then we have one more spot, and I'm not exactly sure who will get this last spot. I think it's between Daysbel Hernandez and maybe a guy like Karinchak, but I think you probably go with Daysbel Hernandez for now. What do you think?
You know, Hernandez is probably where they'll go. They've seen him with the Braves in the past, but I'd really like to see Karinchak come up and pitch for the Braves this year. Karinchak in 5 spring training appearances thus far he's only pitched 1 inning each time, but he hasn't given up a run yet. He's had 2 or more strikeouts in every inning. So I believe he had 4 innings with 2 strikeouts and a 5th with 3 strikeouts. So he's looked very good. Obviously, it's spring training, so you don't know how much that's going to translate. But I'd like to see him come up and pitch for the Braves a little bit.
Yeah, I certainly think Karinchak could. But Daysbel pitched last season, and his stuff is really electric. It's just, can he control the walk rate, and can he put the stuff where he wants it to? But that's I think gonna be your bullpen. Like I said, the back end of the bullpen is scary with Iggy and Suarez and Lee, Kenley as well. Like those 4 guys are gonna be electric, and it's just even rounding out the rest of this bullpen, I would not be upset if Karinchak makes the roster. He has some solid stuff, but
Agreed.
that's this week for Tomahawk Talk. Again, check out the Jurickson Profar video if you're not, if you haven't already, you're not quite sure what's happening there. That's why we're not all shocked right now, just because we already put up a video regarding Jurickson Profar and where the Braves could go. And Joey Wentz injury possibly. We'll keep an eye on that over the next few days and weeks. Hope maybe the Braves. I'm kind of surprised the Braves haven't made another move yet from this week, just because, like we said, with the Profar news, that $20 million in cap has been cleared up. But we'll see. We'll continue to keep y'all posted for the next upcoming Tomahawk Talks.
Yes, we will. Now it's time for more of the scope of baseball in general, and we had the World Baseball Classic start this week, Josh. Very, very exciting. We've got a lot going on. I've got the records pulled up so far. I've got we're gonna look at some highlights, things like that, and we're very excited to see the WBC rolling around again this year.
It's been fun. Even the first game on Wednesday, we watched a lot of that game. Team Australia taking it to Chinese Taipei. We've had a few other pretty solid games, some crazy highlights, and we'll get into them in a second. But it's been fun. It's been fun so far. See a lot of these um high profile countries go at it. And it's been fun. I watched most of the U.S. game last night against Britain. That was fun. I guess we're just beating Britain at all the sports now. And Canada hasn't really, um, but it's just been fun with a lot of stuff. I was really hoping that we wouldn't lose to Britain, 'cause it was getting scary, and I was like, shoot, bro, we can't lose to Britain in the World Baseball Classic. But ended up pulling it off in the end. But well, what do you have for us,
Yeah.
Jordan? Let's go through, maybe start with some of the bottom feeders or go to different pools. How we want to do this here?
So, if you're not familiar with how the World Baseball Classic works, it is 4 pools, 5 teams in each pool, and they play some games, see what the records are at the end of those games, and then it goes into a bracket style. So, you have the winner and the runner-up from each pool moving on to the next round. That will be the quarterfinals. Then we have it's just a single game. Whoever wins out of those 4 games will move on to the semifinals, and then obviously the winners from those go on to the finals, and we'll see who becomes crowned the champion. But Pool A here, I've got the records pulled up. We have Puerto Rico, Cuba, Canada, Panama, and Colombia. A lot of P's and C's in this pool. So
No PCA.
starting off at no PCA, but starting off at the bottom, we have Colombia, 0-2. Not looking very good, man.
Yeah, Colombia has not been great. I was even watching the other day, before the World Baseball Classic began. These different nations were competing in exhibition games between different MLB teams, and the Braves were playing Colombia, and Braves only had like 3 or 4 of their actual starters in there, and we absolutely killed Colombia, who's a national team, and they just made like 4 or 5 errors throughout the game, and it just wasn't all that pretty. So it's not too surprising to see Colombia, um, sitting 0-2 when the Braves kind of smacked them around pretty easily.
Yeah, the highlight of that team, I think, Gio Urshela, right?
Yeah,
So
and
not too bright over there for Colombia.
I believe Julio Teheran as well.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, the Colombia team not looking great. Same goes for Panama, a very tiny country with a canal right in the middle of it, man. They're also 0-2 here in Pool A. Not that surprising.
I know
We
you're a
don't really
big
know very much about Panama, so
I know you're a big canal guy. Whenever we play Minecraft,
I
this
am,
man,
yeah.
this man makes so many canals. Like we're going through boat rides. He's showing me, first time I hopped on one of his worlds with him, and we were going around in this boat. He's taking me from World Spawn over to his house, and there's like 87 canals. He's like, oh, let me show you this canal. Then we go right through it. It's like a 1 block canal. Then we go through the next one. It's like, oh, there's another canal, and that's a canal man right there. And I do appreciate your canals. They are pretty solid canals.
Yeah, back in high school they did call me Dave Canales. So,
That's not true.
um it actually that is true. But
Nope.
not everybody's played the same amount of games, Josh, in the WBC so far.
Nope,
Canada
that's true.
1-0.
They have Naylor, and that's about it, though, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
got 2 nailers on that team. Josh and Bo, they're
yeah.
brothers. Um,
Freddie not playing
yeah,
in the WBC this year, unfortunately.
that's true. It's true.
It's a Canadian
Um,
man.
Team Canada 1-0, and also Team Cuba 1-0. Cuba is a bit of a sleeper.
Cuba's solid. I was seeing some of their stuff earlier. They're probably the favorites to win out for Pool A.
I don't know, man.
But
You're forgetting about Team Puerto Rico.
oh yeah, Puerto Rico's solid. I don't know if I'd put them in like the top 6. It'd probably be Puerto Rico and Yeah, it probably be Puerto Rico and Cuba as the two who went out in Pool A, but
Puerto
we'll
Rico
see.
is 2-0 so far in that Pool A, but Pool B, these guys are playing in Houston at the Astros ballpark, which is not called Minute Maid. It's like Dakin Park or
Daikin,
something now,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
Daikin,
Dakin. I don't know what that is, but
Daikin.
Pool
It's
B,
very weird.
that is the U.S. is pool. They are in the United States is in Pool B, and so this is the one we're most familiar with. That is Brazil and Great Britain, both at 0-2. Not all too surprising there.
Yeah, not too much there for either one of those. You have Jazz for Britain, but It, it's funny with some of these teams though because you get to see these like random dudes. Like there's a 17-year-old pitcher who got judged to hit into a bases loaded double play. That was pretty cool to see. And then there's a crazy home run robbery from Team Britain last night. That was also pretty cool and unique. But a lot of these guys that are kind of sitting at the bottom of the bracket, some of them are just you know random dudes who just play pick up baseball games every once in a while. And we'll get to some of these other countries like Czech Republic and stuff too. But they had one of
Yeah.
their guys struck out Otani throwing like 80 at the max, and I'm like, man, I think I could probably throw harder than some of these guys. But it's fun to see
Yeah.
these guys who are not necessarily big name professional players, going and competing against some of the best players in the world.
Yep. And also in Pool B, we have the Italian team. They actually have looked pretty solid. They're 1-0. Only played one game so far, but I think their lead guy, Dominic Canzoni, is that correct? For the Mariners, right?
Dominic,
So,
sound, imagine being named sounding like a calzone.
I actually saw a YouTube short that somebody put out about he was trying to it was a skit obviously, but this guy he was making fun of the Italian team for what their tryouts must be like, and he was interviewing with a guy, and he's like, "Hey man, the first requirement, your name has to end in a vowel." So, luckily that guy's name did end in a vowel, so he was allowed on Team Italy. But they're looking pretty solid. They're actually about to beat Great Britain here as we speak. The game ending literally right now. That was the final out 1 minute ago. So, Team
Cool.
Italy is now sitting at
2-0,
and Great Britain sitting at 0-3 now. So they're at the bottom of Pool B.
Yeah, they're more of cricket and soccer over there. Baseball just ain't quite their thing.
True that, brother. And also in this pool, we have Team Mexico, who's looked solid in the past.
Mexico's
it's a solid team. They have Randy Arozarena as their headliner, Alejandro Kirk down there.
Nacho Alvarez. Got Nacho
Mm-hmm.
Alvarez.
There's a
He's
Brave
somewhat
down there.
prospect journeyman. They also, I think, Rowdy Tellez as well.
That is true. Yeah, Rowdy Tellez down there. Him and Kirk.
Yeah,
I think they call them the Big Brothers. Beefy Brothers, whatever you want to call them, man.
That's funny. They got like some
accurate.
of the shorter and larger dudes on that team. I think Mexico's probably the second best team in Pool B with the USA obviously being, probably the favorites to win the entire tournament. But Mexico's not.
USA looking 2-0.
Mexico's not terrible, so I think Mexico probably be the next ones to, probably the second team to advance out of Pool B.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. But Pool, you mentioned it, USA, obviously the favorite there, sitting 2-0. Pool C, though, this is the guys we saw come out and play first. This is more of the Eastern guys in this world. We have Team Czechia. Obviously, this is just a bunch of plumbers and carpenters and stuff that they threw a little baseball team together and kind of chucked them out there to the Wolves, and they have played some tough competition here.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. It is fun to see some of those guys, these random dudes go up and do certain things. And I was watching the U.S. game the other day, and they said there is an advantage with some of these guys who are prospects and guys who they don't play in the MLB and that's that. There's no scouting report on these guys.
True.
So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of stuff there that some of these guys are able to get outs and stuff because some of these big league guys they prep by scouting report and you know exactly what they have, how it's going to come out their hand, what different counts they like to throw certain pitches in. But these guys are just Joe Schmoes you've never seen before, so it's fun when they go up and dice someone like Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, you got that right, Josh. And here we've had a bit of a surprise so far in Pool C. That is the Korean team is 1-2 with a losing record so far. They were not necessarily favorites for this pool, but I think they were the second favorite to win this pool and sitting here 1-2 as the fourth place team right now.
Yeah, it's funny because they have some solid pieces, like Ha-Sung Kim, not Ha-Sung Kim, but the one for the Dodgers. I pretty much pronounced that the exact same way.
Yeah.
He's solid, and they have some dude named Moon or something. It's funny, he hit a homer, and it's literally a moonshot.
It's true.
So that was funny. I was like, oh my goodness, my man Moon hit an actual moonshot. But they have some pieces there. But it is very interesting seeing them at 1-2 compared to they have some good major league talent and Korea themselves have some good talent as well in their own leagues and stuff. And to see them at 1-2 is very very surprising.
Yeah, now next up we had the two teams that started out this WBC. The first game was Australia versus Chinese Taipei, also known as Taiwan. Taiwan, the only team that's played 4 games so far, they are sitting at 2-2, a solid 500 for this small team in Taiwan.
Better than I would have guessed. I mean, who do they have? Like Yu Chang, and that was about it.
Yeah, they got quite a few people named Chang on that team. A couple of Lins as well.
Yeah. Remember, there's some dude that's named like, there's a bunch of dudes with the last name of Lin. I'm pretty sure we were looking at one of them, and the dude his name was like Who, and his middle name was like R, and his last name was Lin. It's like Who are Lin or something. There was something interesting like that, but interesting to see them.
I think they got Toys R Us on that team as well.
I mean, not a lot of major league talent and stuff, but they're sitting at 500, so good for Taiwan.
And the real surprise so far in this pool has been Australia sitting at 2-1. They almost beat Japan this morning, lost 4-3. That's their only loss so far against probably the second favorite to win this entire tournament, and they only lost by 1 run. So Australia looking very surprising here so far.
Yeah, they're solid. They have some funky arms in their staff. I was watching them in the first game of the WBC. You got obviously Travis Pizzana also really really nasty, and there's some other guys from I guess it's the Australia League or something that have kind of stepped up and been some actually pretty solid bats. But it's fun to see Team Australia go out there and actually be pretty solid. It's fun. I know my man Braves legend Peter Moreland is probably quite happy at all this so far.
It's true, and obviously the favorite for this division, Japan, sitting at 3-0 right now. Not surprising with guys like Shohei Ohtani, Yamamoto over there. It's not surprising to see them looking as good as they are.
Yeah, surprising that, like you said, they just barely won 4-3, but most of their stuff's been blowouts, and Ohtani's probably having the best offensive stretch out of anybody in the World Baseball Classic so far. He's mashed. But Japan's lineup is quite deep, scary, good rotation. U.S. is probably the only one that can really deal with the depth that Japan has on both sides. And then you have the DR, which is scary, and we'll get to them in a second too. But
yeah, Japan, and that is the final pool, Pool D. This is more of the Hispanic teams and Latino teams. Starting us off 0-2, Nicaragua. They got walked off by Braves legend Ozzie Albies. That would have been their first ever win in the World Baseball Classic for the nation of Nicaragua. And unfortunately, walked off by Ozzie, and you could see the soul leaving that pitcher's eye as he watched that ball go out.
He was certainly quite upset, and Ozzy absolutely pumped because, you know, Netherlands should have been out of that game. They were down to the final strike. Um, Dude found a knock. And then Bogarts came up and he hit the bag. He hit the third base bag for a double. That should have ended the game. If it didn't hit the bag or took a different hop, but it bounced straight over it. Then Ozzy came up and first pitch he saw, he just absolutely crushed it. So it's good. That's good to see as a Braves fan to see, Ozzy pumped up and, playing well in pretty solid tournament here.
Also in this league, very randomly, is Israel. Not entirely sure what they're doing in here, but Israel is also in this league, sitting 0-1. Not much to say here. It's Israel, man. You're not expecting the Israel team to do too well in the WBC, but they are here. Now we're getting into a very Braves
Wasn't
team
it like Jock
that is the
Peterson or something
Netherlands.
last time?
Yeah, Jock is on Team Israel. You always see some weird, unexpected names on Team Israel. Guys like Jock Peterson, Harrison Bader, Garrett Stubbs, Spencer Horowitz, guys like that. You're not expecting these guys on Team Israel, but there they are. But also the very Braves full team is Team Netherlands, sitting at 1-1. You got Ozzy Albies, Jurickson Profar before he was an idiot. Chadwick Trump, guys like Ray Patrick Ditter. He's not on the Braves anymore, but had a couple appearances, and he's on that team batting leadoff most of the time. And guys like Drew Jones and Andrew Jones, the manager for that team. It's cool to see this team out there.
Didi Gregorius hitting an absolute nuke today as well. But
our boy, hey, let's have a moment of flaring the nostrils for Didi real quick.
That's some
all right, there we go.
That's
Sorry, it had to be done. It had to be done.
Had to be done.
That's a shout out to Didi, man. What a legend.
He's only 36, man. Braves good. Hey, I was telling you the other day that, or it was even today or something, that, if the Braves sign Didi, just put him on, I don't care, he can play short until, Ha-Sung Kim comes back, and, I don't care if he goes, over in his entire appearance, just to see that big nostril man just going out there taking balls and taking ground balls, chucking it over, playing some solid defense. He can play pretty much anywhere on the infield. He's playing third base right now for Netherlands. He played shortstop most of his career in the MLB.
And first base
he even
for the
played
last
first
WBC.
Base
Yeah.
last time. So it's fun. I like to see my man Didi back in action. That's one of my favorite parts about the Netherlands, or the Team Netherlands and the WBC as a whole, is you get to see my man Didi Gregorius. You also have Xander Bogaerts, so a solid. I mean, Netherlands is not.
True.
They don't have great pitching, but they have a solid lineup.
It is very accurate, sir. And the real favorites coming up here for this pool D, and that is Venezuela and the Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic sitting at 2-0 as they beat the Netherlands earlier this morning. Venezuela also sitting at 2-0. These are the real scary teams, Dominican, obviously very stacked. You always think about when you're thinking of guys that throw absolute gas or some crazy power guys, your mind immediately jumps to Dominican Republic. And Venezuela with guys like Ronald Acuna Jr. and things like that, it's cool to see.
And with Luis Arias hitting 2 homers in the game.
Yeah, where did that come from, man?
Yeah, Venezuela also a really, really stacked team. This will be, it's unfortunate because I want the Netherlands to do well and possibly advance, but it's almost impossible to beat. The DR is probably has the third best odds to win it all, and Venezuela also a solid team as well there. So I don't know. It's gonna be fun. The DR is just scarily loaded with guys like Soto and stuff. So it's a scary,
absolutely
scary
stacked, man. And Venezuela there with Acuna and the Contreras brothers and all the guys like that. It's cool to see, man.
But yeah, that's pretty much all the WBC stuff so far and their records, and it'll be ending soon, but we'll get pool play ending soon, then we get into to the playoffs and stuff as well. So keep updated for that. One or two more things before we end this about the WBC. Like I said, the U.S. probably the favorites to win it all. And Jordan, I have a brief question for you. What makes the U.S. so unbeatable? And are there any possible weaknesses for this U.S. team that you think that maybe some of these other smaller nations can try to take advantage of in order to maybe make a crazy upset on the WBC championship uh, favorites?
Yeah, so at short, there's not really any weaknesses to this team. It is absolutely stacked, man. You got a crazy pitching staff, a crazy offensive staff. I mean, going through here, the pitchers, we're looking at guys like Paul Skeens, Tariq Skubal. That might be the only weaknesses. Those guys only limited to 1 or 2 games in this WBC, and we've already seen them pitching with Tariq Skubal yesterday. So, but even then, you've got guys like Logan Webb in this rotation. Clayton Kershaw came out in the exhibition games, didn't look very good, but other guys, great relief. David Bednar, Clay Holmes,
Mason
guys
Miller.
like that. And yeah, Mason Miller, like, come on, man. We got some dominant arms. And going through this offense, I mean, listen to this, man. Your backup catcher's Will Smith, with the
They were
starter being Cal Raleigh. It's
I was
what?
watching it. Like I said, they were all booing for Will Smith, chanting for them to bring in Cal Raleigh, and yet Will Smith is probably the best catcher in the National League. So it's just funny how stacked the U.S. is when their bench guys are multi All-Star winners and multi Silver Sluggers and whatnot. It's
Yeah.
so hard to beat this team because of their depth.
This infield, man. Bryce Harper, you talked about that a little bit. Paul Goldschmidt, Alex Bregman, Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt Jr., Bryce Terang there at second, and Ernie Clement as well. That is completely stacked, dude. It's unbeatable. And also that outfield with guys like Roman Anthony, Byron Buxton, PCA. You mentioned him earlier with all the P's and C's. And the star of this team, Aaron Judge, out there in the outfield. And then a guy that we've seen carry so far for the U.S. is Kyle Schwarber at the designated hitter spot. It's scary, man, what this U.S. team can do.
It's funny. We're talking about the Netherlands lineup, and I feel like the Netherlands have an entire roster full of either 7 or probably like your 9 hole guys or your 7 to 9 hole guys. That's like that entire roster. But when you get to the U.S., the entire team could bat in the 3 hole. Like it's crazy. You got an entire team of like cleanup hitters. Like it's absolutely crazy. Schwarber, firing off at the top of the order. It's funny they went from Bobby Witt, who might be the quickest leadoff hitter, to Kyle Schwarber, and he did pretty good yesterday. But this U.S. team is so good. It's so deep, really hard to beat them. And that's the thing. Like they have so many quality arms out of that pen, and their rotation as a whole in that offense is just, you can sub in, you know, MVP guys for MVP runner up
Yeah,
guys, and it's crazy.
yeah, incredible.
Their bench could probably win second place in the WBC. So we'll see if the U.S. can continue and continue keeping it up and being solid throughout the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, so here's my question for you, Josh. Looking at what we've seen so far in the WBC, what is your bracket looking like here for the rest of the tournament? And I gave you a little bit of a help with this, with who's in each pool and whatnot, and how that's all formatted. But you're gonna pick a winner and then a runner-up for each pool, and we'll go from there. So starting Pool A, we got Puerto Rico, Cuba, Canada, Panama, Colombia.
Puerto Rico's gonna win out for Pool A. They're just stacked. They have the most major league talent. That one is pretty solid. I mean, a lot of these, probably pool winners are pretty obvious, but Panama, really solid team. And then Cuba, probably I'd go with the runners up there. They're all right, but
Okay, so
they're
Cuba second place there.
yeah, they're not as
All right, so we got Puerto Rico and Cuba there. So Pool B, we have the United States, Mexico, and I think I can stop right there.
yeah. It's not U.S. will go 4-0 and probably win the whole thing. And Mexico has some solid talent. They have pretty solid lineup, and their pitching isn't the best, but they have a few decent spots. But considering all of Pool B, there's a lot of weak competition in Pool B outside of the U.S. and Italy's all right, but I'd give the edge to Mexico.
Pool C, this is an interesting one here. We have Japan, Australia, Korea, Czechia, and the Chinese Taipei. What do you got here?
Japan obviously is going to win that division. What was Australia's record? Are they 1-1 right now?
I believe they're 2-1.
It's weird. I would have gone with like Korea, but I'm gonna just go with Australia. I don't know who they play next. I'm a fan of Team Australia.
Australia, they play Korea in the next game.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go with Australia. I think Australia can, if they can get to the 3 wins, they'll win out as the second team. It'll be tough for them to beat Korea. I'm not sure if they will, but Korea has not been great so far, losing to some teams that are not that stacked. I'll go with Australia. I don't know. They're just a funky team, and that's why I kind of like them. They're just a ragtag group.
Very funky team indeed. And
Good funk.
closing us out, Pool D, we got Venezuela, the Dominican Republic, Netherlands, Israel, and Nicaragua.
As much as I'd love to see the Netherlands make it onto the playoffs of the WBC, it's going to be the DR and Venezuela. We just talked about how stacked they both are. It's not too much to talk about there.
So you got the Dominican Republic winning that one and Venezuela coming in the 2 spot.
Yep.
All right.
Yes,
so we're going to move on to these quarterfinal matchups now. I've got it pulled up right here. This is how it's going to go. All right. This is how it's going to play out according to your picks. We're going to have game 1. That's going to be Cuba playing against the United States. Who you got there?
The U.S. is absolutely shelling them. It's
not much to say there, bro. It's going to be a bit of a blowout there.
Yeah,
game 2, you're going to have Mexico playing against Puerto Rico. What you got going on here, Josh?
Puerto Rico to me is probably the 5th or 6th best team. They're right up there with Venezuela. I think it's Puerto Rico. Mexico could put up a fight. They're kind of weird. They're kind of funky as well, but I think Puerto Rico's just a solid team overall. They'll probably win that game out.
It's true, and I like that pick, Puerto Rico. Moving on to the semifinals and quarterfinal game number 3. This is an interesting one here. We're gonna have Australia playing against the Dominican Republic, man.
I like Australia. Even me putting them in the playoffs might be a bit of a stretch, but yeah, they ain't beating Juan Soto.
Yeah, not
and
Dominican.
The rest of that
should crush there.
Terrifying team.
Very scary team there, the Dominican Republic. And finally, game 4, we're gonna have Team Japan playing against Team Venezuela.
On paper, that sounds like a fun game. If Japan came close to losing to Korea, maybe it'll be somewhat interesting. But on paper, Japan should steamroll past Venezuela. They just so much deeper on all facets of the game.
So here we go. We're at the semifinal matchups now.
Okay.
We're gonna have Team Puerto Rico versus Team USA.
I'm gonna go the U.S. I think they're just so strong. Again, they could just falter somewhere here, but no, they're just too stacked.
Yeah, I highly doubt we'll see them fail too much in this tournament. And then also Team Japan versus the Dominican Republic in that other semifinal game.
This one's tough. This one's really tough. because you probably have your number 2 and your number 3. The question is, which one will end up as 2 and which one will end up as 3.
Yeah.
I think Japan will sneak it out just because they are the defending champions of the World Baseball Classic. They are really strong. You have Shohei Ohtani doing Shohei Ohtani things. The rest of that Japanese lineup is crazy. The DR is really strong offense, but I think what'll get them here is the pitching. I think Japan's pitching is really strong. You put in a guy like Yamamoto and some of these other dudes, and it's gonna be the lights out.
That is very true, Josh. And here in this championship game, we have the USA versus Japan, a rematch of the last WBC. Who you got winning?
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be fun, but I think the U.S. can get some revenge here and hopefully win it all in the WBC. I think they have the best offense in the entire WBC and the best pitching staff in the WBC. So that combined, hopefully, unless they start slumping somewhere, I think the U.S. will move their way onto
Yeah,
winning it all.
just such a stacked team. I'm going to have to agree with you there, Josh. And, well, that will wrap up our WBC coverage for this episode. And obviously, we'll keep looking at it. If anything crazy happens, we'll make maybe a short video about that. But aside from that, we'll keep you guys updated next episode. We should be getting into this playoff bracket, Josh.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to seeing it, and we'll see. I think USA will come out on top, but I'm curious to see who actually will.
And yeah, Josh, so now we have a wonky game I've prepared for you. And we've seen a lot of NFL moves here recently in this last week with free agency about to open up and teams are trying to get those last minute moves in. Now, I've prepared a list of players here. You might have seen some of the headlines, you might have looked in some of the news, but I've got a list of players. Some of these guys got traded. Some of these guys just got cut. Some of these guys are staying with the team they're on right now, and maybe even some retiring guys on here. Your job, I'm going to tell you the dude's name, and you got to tell me what he did. What's he doing, man? All right?
This will be interesting because you know how bad I am with certain players. Unless they're like big name dudes. Some of these guys I know what's happened, but there's some guys on here you'll be like, bro, how have you never heard of him? I'll be like, I don't know,
Yeah.
I've never heard of this guy because he's some random corner or something.
And we
This
do
fun,
have a
this will be
few
fun.
big name guys and a few guys that you might not know if you're more of a casual fan, not really. There's some O linemen, some defensive guys, and even some special teams guys here.
I can't tell you any O linemen, so we'll see.
All right, well, let's get right into it here. We're going to start off. I'm just going to scramble these up, Josh, so you'll have some big names and mixed in with some smaller names. Well, we're going to start out.
It's a great way to eat your eggs.
It's true. It's
I'm a big
true.
scramble fan.
I'm a bit of an over easy guy myself, but
I mean, any way you cook an egg is
it is very true. Speaking of eggs, Josh, we're starting out.
I'm a big devil egg.
Hey. We're starting out with my man Will Clapp. What is going on with Will Clapp, man?
Never heard of this guy before.
Hey, you never heard of Will Clapp?
And I'm pretty sure. No, I can't say I've ever heard of my
center
Will
for the
Clapp.
Saints, man. Will Clapp.
I'm pretty sure we were talking about something earlier, and you were all like, "No, man, Will Clapp just retired." And I'd never heard about Will Clapp. He got a funny name, but I'm gonna just guess that he retired.
That is correct, dude. Will Clapp did retire. Hey, give him a hand, man.
I'll clap for Will Clapp.
Congratulations, Will Clapp. Successful 7-year career. He is retiring as a Saint. That is Will Clapp right there. Good work, Josh. Now, next up on this list, we have, drumroll please, David Montgomery.
Oh, I'm trying to remember where he got. Oh, I remember where he got traded to. I saw this pop up on my phone the other day. It's kind of weird. You're not gonna have Gibbs and Montgomery anymore. Instead, Montgomery heading over to the Texans.
It is correct. No more Sonic and Knuckles. Now it's just David Montgomery moving down there to Houston to play with the Texans. And bouncing right off of that one, Josh, where or what is happening here with Joe Mixon?
He got cut. He got released.
That is correct. Joe Mixon did, in fact, get released by the Houston Texans after the signing of David Montgomery. Traded for him. They traded a couple, I think a second and a seventh round pick and an O lineman named Juice. All right, you ever heard of Juice Scruggs there, Josh?
Yeah, I can't say I ever
Man,
have.
me neither. But Juice moving on over to the
Okay.
Lions, and so that was the move there. And then they cut Joe Mixon right after that. Next up on this list, we have a center for the Commanders, Tyler Biadasz. What's going on with him, man?
This is one of those guys I've never
Heard of
before,
Tyler
ever.
Biadasz, man. Come on.
I'm just gonna throw it out there that he retired. I don't know. I have no clue who this guy is.
Unfortunately, there's not two centers retiring there. Tyler Biadasz got traded to the Chargers.
Oh, the Chargers finally getting a dude over here.
Hey, man, you should have known that one. That's pretty embarrassing that you didn't know that. But
Never heard of him.
next up, we have Kyle Pitts. What's going on with Kyle Pitts, man?
I have no clue. Some of these I've not heard anything about. I have no clue. Is he? I'm gonna just guess that he resigned.
Yeah, he got the franchise tag. Kyle Pitts got the franchise tag, sticking with the Falcons for another year. And
I know you're a big Pitts fan from Madden.
it's true,
You just
man.
go
I
crazy
do go
with it.
crazy with Kyle Pitts, man. My guy got drafted as the quarterback for the Falcons, beat out Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins. They gave me that starting job, and man, Kyle Pitts averages about 2,500 receiving yards each year, man. So that's Kyle Pitts right there. He's staying with the Falcons for another year. They'll probably reassess or give him a new contract throughout the season. But next up on this list, we have another tight end, Jonnu Smith. What's going on with Jonnu Smith for the Steelers?
I'm not sure. I'm just gonna guess that he's walking. He's not going anywhere, or he's going somewhere else. He's not staying with.
Any guesses where he's going?
I have no clue. Let's go. I'm gonna have him go to the Texans.
Unfortunately, you're wrong. Jonnu Smith signing with the free agent market. He got cut by the Steelers. Did get
Okay,
released
crazy.
over there. Very surprising. He was a Pro Bowler a year ago and with Miami. So coming over to the Steelers and getting released after 1 year. Pretty wild from Jonnu Smith. But next up on this list, we have Daniel Jones of the Colts. Old Danny Dimes, man. What's going on with him?
He got franchise tag. I saw that. I was like, yo, they're bringing back Indiana
That's
Jones.
it. Indiana Jones sticking around with the Colts. We'll see what he can do next year coming off of an injury. Halfway through this season, the Colts looked pretty good with him to start the year off, but
They did.
another Colts move here. Zaire Franklin, a linebacker on the Colts. You probably have never heard of this guy, Josh. Pretty solid. He was a Pro Bowler in 24. What's going on with Zaire Franklin?
Never heard of this man. I'm gonna just say that he. I'm gonna guess he got traded to the Chiefs.
Ooh, so you got it right. He got traded, but not to the Chiefs. Yeah, Zaire Franklin getting traded to the Green Bay Packers. I don't like to see that as a Vikings fan, but you know, we'll see what he can do up there with the Packers and Micah Parsons up there. Next up, we have a Chiefs guy. You mentioned him, Trent McDuffie. What's going on with him?
I do know this one. He got traded to the Rams for a first round
True
pick.
that, brother.
And a few
Very solid corner for the Chiefs. He's been with them for the Super Bowl runs they've had, and moving on over to the Rams. Patrick Mahomes probably whining about that. Can you activate your Patrick Mahomes voice and say, "You traded my friend"?
I don't got the best Patrick
Hey,
Mahomes
just
voice.
try
I'm
it,
more of a
man.
Dak
You can
Prescott
do
impersonator.
Patrick, man. Just try it.
What am I saying
You
here?
traded my friend. Go ahead and try it. If it's really bad, we'll have Connor cut it out, man.
It's fine. It's fine. It'll just be there. You're traded, my friend.
Alrighty, so
Meanwhile, Dak Prescott's over there just like, yeah, that's so cool. Like,
oh man, there it is, dude. And it's
meanwhile, the Fortnite henchmen are like, hey!
bro, that one gets me every time. It's so accurate.
He always starts
Oh
laughing.
my
I say,
goodness.
hey!
All right.
See, I need to learn the Patrick Mahomes voice. I
It
guess.
sounds a bit like Kermit the Frog, I gotta be honest. But
I can't really do a Kermit impression.
it's
sorry
alright. You'll
about that.
get there one day, little guy.
I can only do the Fortnite henchman.
Let's get into a couple wide receivers. Let's start out with George Pickens for the Cowboys.
Franchise
That
tag.
is correct. George Pickens getting franchise
See
tag.
that one. Soon as Pickens got franchise tag, Dak Prescott's going, yeah, here we go. He's really excited. He's really excited.
You can't ever tell if he's excited
Yeah,
or not.
Pickens don't
It's
go.
the same tone every time, man. That's the only tone he speaks in. But
yeah, I guess so.
yeah, his wife dies. He's like, what's he say when his wife dies? There, Josh.
Oh no.
Oh man. But anyway,
There she blows.
there she blows, brother. And another wide receiver here, DJ Moore of the Bears. What's going on with DJ Moore?
He got traded to the Bills, right? Giving Josh Allen a somewhat decent piece there to throw to.
That is correct. He is going over to the Buffalo Bills for Josh Allen, and I think that's a pretty good addition there for the Bills.
Yeah, finally have maybe not the best wide receiver, but he's certainly a wide receiver one type of guy over there for Buffalo.
All right, Josh, we have two more. These are some pretty intense ones here. First off, we have Maxx Crosby. I know that you know this one.
I saw this one. He got traded to the Ravens. The Ravens are going to be solid with Crosby, and I saw something that's like Joe Flacco was literally just crying because of all the defensive linemen in that division. You're going against Crosby, Watt, and Myles Garrett, and he might deal with some more turf toe next season. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, not be surprised at all. But Josh, to close us out, I would say probably the biggest move of this entire so far in this offseason, man. Very big move here. Eddie Pinheiro of the 49ers.
Bigger than. Okay, I thought you were going to talk about Kyler Murray or something like that.
Nope. Eddie Pinheiro of the 49ers, man. The kicker.
You mentioned this guy, this kicker on the 49ers I've never heard of.
You've never heard of my man Eddie Pinheiro?
I cannot say I've ever been an Eddie Pinheiro fan.
Man, spent some time with the Panthers, man.
Never.
Not ringing a bell? Man, I'm sorry about that. But anyway, Eddie Pinheiro, what's he doing, man?
He retired. I don't know.
No, that's an idiot move. He did not retire. You should know this, Josh. Eddie Pinheiro re-signed with the 49ers, man. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Interesting. I never knew who he was.
Everyone knows that, man.
I didn't. I apologize.
Biggins told me he knows that.
Is that true?
Yeah, he said, quote,
yeah,
that's a good one.
That's
right
a
there.
good one right
That's
there.
what he said. But that does wrap up the game today. Very wonky game. Couple
I
you
did.
knew.
I did decent.
Yeah, you did know most of them.
I got some of them.
Yeah.
Which is good. I'll take it.
Pretty embarrassing though that you didn't know Eddie Pinheiro, but it's okay. You got Will Clapp, so that makes up for it.
See, related to like Rafael Palmeiro or something.
Oh yeah, they're actually half sisters, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what he's.
You know what? Now that you say that, Okay, cool.
Yep, that wraps up the wonky game. And there it is, guys. Let us know how Josh did down in the comments.
Now it's time for the verse of the week.
Verse of the week. Verse of the week. Verse of the week.
Verse of the
Verse of
week.
the week.
Verse
Verse of the week.
I thought
All right.
we were gonna do something cool.
No, that's a solo, dude. Come on. All right, verse of the week time.
This week for the verse of the week, we have Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. This will kind of bounce off of last week's verse of the week a little bit. This one states, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thine ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." Like we said last week, where, we're talking about anxiety and different worries and trusting that God will take care of it. Well, this is very, on a very similar note, that we need to trust in God when, on all facets of our life, that he will direct us and show us where to go. But it especially comes down to decision making. It's a lot of times where we don't know what to do for either, things that might be upcoming in the future, whether it's, plans on, maybe future career opportunities or, family type stuff with, decisions regarding that. We have all these different paths that we can choose from, but really there's only going to be, one path that's the best for us. And sometimes it's really hard to tell, what way is going to work out the best, what way will be the most pleasing to God. Well, this verse is saying that, if we trust in God, he will show us which way to go. And, this verse is always funny because my mom always, she adds a song to this verse. She sings, it's like, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thine ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path." You ever heard that one, Jordan? You ever heard that one?
Absolute classic, man.
Yeah. But no, just a simple verse of the week this week, just to tell us to, trust in God. And a big thing here is with all thine heart. Sometimes we know, we trust in God to an extent, but we don't fully take that complete step of faith out to trust that he will take care of us. And, another thing here with this verse is sometimes, it says that he will direct our paths, but sometimes, his path might not be the way that we want to go. So sometimes we don't want to, go out into that direction. But just a simple little thing for this week. But, yeah.
Good verse of the week, Josh. This is an absolute classic verse there in Proverbs. And yeah, you always like to hear this one. Even if you already know it, it's always good to hear it again. It's a good reminder for us, and it's always a good verse, man.
But with that said, that'll end this episode of Chopping It Up. Again, continue to try to subscribe. We have, we're getting up there towards 100, and we're starting to put some of our wonky plans for a 100 subscriber special into action. We're starting to prep for some stuff. Maybe, it'll involve something a little unique. We'll see. I don't know how much I want to say right now. Need to keep on your toes, get ready. So maybe share all this stuff to your friends. Maybe they'll hop on and be some Chopping It Up fans as well. But yeah, and also thanks to Connor for editing these videos last week. Quite entertaining to watch when you had especially when you had Matt just scroll across the screen.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty funny. Other different section as well. But I know with some of our changes that we've made, gives him a little more time to work on editing and adding different fun little things here and there. So thanks to Connor.
Hey guys, don't forget, like, subscribe, drop some comments down there. Hey, recommend us to your friends, man. And hey, a big one here. Don't forget, we got the Discord linked in the channel description,
Yes.
guys. Go ahead, join that. Let us know you're watching. Let us know what you want to see. That's big. We might put some community stuff out in there, and maybe some exclusive things there.
We definitely want to do more with the Discord, but we need some of y'all in the Discord to begin doing some of that. But comment, join the Discord. Let us know who won the game of the week. Let us know that, either me or Jordan, who you think would survive longer on the dinosaur infested island and all sorts of other things. But
And hey,
thanks for watching. We'll be back here next time, and Jordan, take it away.
shop on, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for listening to Chopping It Up with Josh and Jordan.